What's up guys, Aroneous here with another Raid Shadow Legends video. Today's video I'm going to be going over the fusion here with Razelvarg, and I'm just going to kind of showcase to where I'm at in the fusion. And honestly, I feel like this fusion is a lot easier than I expected going into it. So I'm going to talk about that as well. Let's get into it. Alright, so where am I at in the fusion? And what have I been doing for the fusion so far? Why do I think the fusion is much easier than expected? So first things first, I'm going to take you into a little trip into tournaments. So tournaments, of course, where am I at on the tournaments? I'm doing okay. Hopefully you guys are doing well too on the tournaments. Have you finished any of the tournaments so far? Classic Arena, that should be the easiest one, hands down, for anybody out there. So I just don't see it being excuses on this one. There's just none. I couldn't think of them. I mean, even in bronze, they actually reduce the amount of points you need when you're a lower level player. So I could go on my commons and uncommons only account and I can complete this with no problem. And I could probably snag the 6-star, what is this, 5-star? 5-star epic relentless gear as well with no problem. But I just don't grind that account very hard. So there we are there. I've already completed the Classic Arena takedown. Dragon Tournament, that one's complete, all done. I farmed stage 25, although stage 20 is actually a little bit more preferable for these tournaments. But I'm farming stage 25 in hopes that I can get stronger gear over time, but I'm just not getting lucky, to be honest with you. So 2782, I stopped at the epic book, and I'm not going to farm Dragon anymore. I think I'm going to move on to... More than likely, I'm going to move on to like Fire Knight or Spider. Maybe I'll save some silver because of the artifact enhancement event as well as going on. Champion training, I just started doing champion training too. So I am using my energy for champion training. And then if I need to, I could farm Spider to try to finish off the artifact enhancement event, because Spider does grant you a lot more silver from the artifacts, or the accessories that is, as compared to campaign. But the campaign, you got to make sure you're training your champions up as well. Now, if you can do it, I do recommend people to farm Spider or Dragon or wherever. If you can farm stage 20, that's what I typically farm, is Spider 20 for as much silver as possible. And it's because it's a fast run. But if you can farm with food, that's going to be the best case scenario, especially during champion training, where you're killing two birds with one stone. You're going to amass a large amount of silver, but you're also going to level up your champions at the same time. So that's super, super important. So the artifact enhancement event, so far I'm doing okay. We do have 2 days left, and I ended up going into it with about 6 or 7 mil. So I did all right. I got the silver chest, which then gave me another 125k silver, which is honestly nothing. I don't really like those chests. I don't know about you guys. What do you think about the silver chests? I'm not really a huge fan. They're randomized, but I feel like they're kind of more leaning towards like getting the crappier rewards for some reason. Unless maybe they're all, exactly randomized at the same exact amount, same exact rate. I don't know. It just doesn't feel like that. For dungeon divers, same thing, they got this horrible silver chest, which you can get 100 to 250k. And Dungeon Divers is probably the toughest one, in my opinion, for any event, just in general, because the amount of points that you get for snagging up these specific ranked and rarity, either accessories or artifacts, is really slim. And honestly, level 25 dungeons, even though you're on level 25, a lot of times you get 5-star. So it's only like 15. It's only 15 here for a legendary 5-star piece, which is nothing, right? And 2 is only going to be 30. And they put it at 2850. So you have to do a lot of energy, a lot of runs in order to get to this Margrave. Now you can do it pretty quickly if you're doing like Nightmare campaign, getting the highest level artifacts as possible. Or if you're doing Spider, you could do like the lower stages of Spider. It's always recommended to do, if you just want to get it done fast, you could do stage 10 or 13. I believe it's 10 that actually drops a higher rate of 5-star accessories. So that one you can do. Again, I don't like to do it because I'm not getting any benefit out of better accessories for my account. So I just farm stage 20. That's just me. Now for Summon Rush, that's already done. If you guys haven't checked it out already, go check out my previous video of me summoning shards. And yeah. I'm still really ticked off about the last video. So there's that. So that's where I'm at right now. Now I kind of want to get into why I think the Razelvarg fusion is a little bit easier than typical fusions, because last time we did a fusion like this, they made it so you couldn't get the epic. And I got the epic just fine, so I already have one, which means I could skip out on 4 events or tournaments, depending on if they have 1 and or 2 of the Margrave rares. So that's pretty sweet. Now, not everybody out there is able to get the epic because they just don't have the resources stocked when it comes to shards. I happen to have the resources stocked up because I hit Ultra Nightmare every single day. So, you know, I was able to pick up the epic. I'm probably not gonna go for an extra one because I really don't care for having her. I mean, is she a good champion? Let me go back there. Yeah, she's a good champion. She's really good for clan boss. All right, so Delaja, she's very good for clan boss. So I've seen people post videos of her. So she can be very, very good for early, mid game, and honestly, some late game content as well. So if you have an unkillable team, she's actually going to be really, really good for you. Plus she has this nice shield as well. It says also places a shield buff equal to 20% of this champion's max HP on all allies for 2 turns. So if you have great gear and you don't have an unkillable team and you're running like a ally protection type team, this champion right here can come in, place the decrease attack, place the poisons, and she has this, which is a chance of counterattacking when ally lizardmen except this champions are attacked. So if you have like Rosin Scarhide on the same team, which a lot of people do use Rosin, I use Rosin in my unkillable team, she would actually be pretty huge and very significant for the team if I had her. And she might actually, I don't know if she would do better than my Geomancer, because Geomancer scales over time with the damage. But because I have an unkillable team, it's a possibility that she does do better than Geomancer. Now, I wouldn't need the decrease attack because it's unkillable. I would only need the poisons and the shields, which honestly, even the shield's not needed because I have an unkillable. So I would just go with the poison ability every single time, and I just shut off everything else. I mean, unless she hits really big damage with this ability here, I would just, if you have an unkillable team, use this and just keep this on. So each hit has a 20%, book it out to 30% to place that poison. That's not a bad ability at all. And then the counterattack chance just gives us a bigger chance of being able to place more poisons over time. So she's actually not a bad champion, but I just don't think I'm going to end up picking her up. If I happen to get her from chance, then I get her. However, what I'm trying to do for this fusion is not spend so much gems. And I know I'm definitely going to have to spend gems if I want to complete the Margrave Greenhawk for the Dungeon Divers event. So I just don't think I'll have enough time. Maybe if I get lucky, I might, but I don't know if I'm going to have enough resources without using gems, right, to get this guy. It's possible. I could. I just don't know for sure. But yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at there. And that's the biggest reason why I think this is easier, is because you can go for that epic. Plus, I just feel like this guy wasn't as tough as Supreme Elhain, because Supreme Elhain, you didn't have a chance to get an epic, right? Because it was a fragment fusion, I believe. But the summon rush, the point system was a lot higher as well. So I think it was 52 or 5,300 points that you needed to get the second rare or second fragments. I think it was the second fragments for Supreme Elhain. So she was much tougher. Now, I will say, granted, she's a Void Legendary, but honestly, she's kind of an average to slightly above average Void Legendary because she just hits hard. So, meh. I think this is just an easier one in general, considering. Now, if you're an early or mid-game account, it's going to be tough for you to get fusions done regardless, because you might not be hitting Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss, and most people fail these fusions because they just don't have shards stockpiled. Now, if you're a person who also just pulls your shards like crazy whenever you get them, then that's kind of on you. But if you're really early game, it's going to become difficult for you to get this type of fusion in general. So I would recommend, honestly, if you can get him, go for him if you have the resources. If for some reason you're still in the running for this guy, that is. But yeah, if you can get him, go for him. I don't think he's going to be insane for the end game accounts, but he is going to be really good for progression. He's really good in PvE. He's good in Hydra. He's going to bring that extra damage with the increased speed, increased accuracy. So a lot of people struggle with the accuracy thresholds and increased speed. Some people struggle with the speed thresholds. If you're trying to go from hard Hydra to brutal or nightmare, he does bring in that increased speed, which is nice, and a leech to help you guys survive. I just wish he had a decreased attack in his kit or a decreased speed, and he would have been way better. But it is what it is. I also have Supreme Alhaine from the last fusion, and I will pull her during this fusion. So I'm going to pull her during the champion chase to make sure I get that 500 points or so. Or actually, no, I think it's 650 points to pull a Void Legendary for champion chase. So that's going to be really smart to do. Don't pull her if you're going for the fusion Razelvarg. Wait until champion chase. Now, other things to keep in mind is that we've got the normal Doom Tower open. We've got the hard Doom Tower open. So keep in mind, you can get tons of resources from normal and hard Doom Tower. Don't forget this. A lot of people do forget about this. Like, I can go and complete the normal Doom Tower because I'm trying to conserve as many gems as possible on this free-to-play account, right? So if I save as much gems as possible, I would then go here. Here's some silver. Here's some more energy. Possibly a 4-star chicken, maybe a 5-star chicken. I'm not sure on floor 80. I don't remember off the top of my head. Then the next day, more energy, more silver, more gems, another chicken, you know. So keep in mind that farming Doom Tower in general is going to be super helpful and impactful for your account. Then of course, make sure you're hitting clan boss every day. You can also go into the bazaar here and you can pick up energy if you have it available. Just make sure you're farming tag team. I know a lot of people don't love tag team, but if you're farming tag team, you need to min-max your resources. Let's see if I get something good here. 4-star Lizardmen cleansing gear. Garbage. So live arena, I have been farming it here and there, just that I haven't been hitting all the time frames. I don't like the different time zones, but that one, it's not super impactful for you, especially if you're early game. You're just gonna get clapped for the first week or two. If you want to do some fights, go for it, but just know that there's going to be a lot of struggle in the beginning, the first 2 weeks, maybe even a month or so, before we start fanning out all the players in the player base that are really good based on really poor, or not poor, but really early game, right? So if you're early game, doesn't mean you're bad. It just means that you don't have the champions, you don't have the gear, so you really can't compete right now. So just stick to regular arena. But again, if you wanted to try out that new live PvP, go for it. It's just a little bit difficult right now. Like, I've lost quite a few battles myself, so don't feel obligated to have to pursue it, but there are resources there as well. Now for another place you can go to is Clan Shop, right? Now I do pick up silver here and there, especially during these artifact enhancement events. So if I don't want to use any of my gems to get more energy and I'm just trying to stockpile gems, for example, then you could use your clan tokens for extra silver. It's not highly recommended, but I do recommend it if you're, you know, getting down to the wire, you have extra tokens left over from a CVC, or there's no energy, right? So like the last, 3 weeks now, I think, we've only gotten rank 3 chickens, and nobody ever picks up rank 3 chickens. Like, I'd never pick up rank 3 chickens on this account, not a single time. Only time I've picked up this rank 3 chicken is on my commons and uncommons only account, and that's it. I usually pick up the energy, I usually pick up the charms, I usually pick up the accessories, and then once in a while, if I have extra tokens, I'll pick up the fragments for Arbiter, but she doesn't do anything for me. It's just a skin. It just looks nice. Anyways, guys, thanks so much for watching. I appreciate you guys for subscribing to the channel. And if you have been watching and you aren't subscribed, consider subscribing to the channel. It's free, absolutely free, all my videos. I post tons of raid content every single day, or at least every other day. I try to post as much as possible. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on a video soon. Peace.